Today I'm riding Indonesia's slightly strange luxury train with its spacious business class style reclining seats. Travelling between two of the country's major cities on a 6-hour journey, we'll be checking out all of the features on this luxury class journey, from the exclusive lounge to the onboard meal service and even the entertainment system. So join me for a luxury ride through tropical Indonesia as I show you this business class train. Hello and welcome back to another video. Today I'm here at Gambir station in Jakarta, the capital city of Indonesia, and I'm going to be travelling on the Argo Dupanga train down to Yogyakarta. For this trip I'm booked into executive luxury class, so it's going to be a nice journey. Let's go! Good morning and welcome to Gambir station, the main long distance train station here in the city of Jakarta. And I say long distance because local trains actually don't stop here, but more on that in a moment. This rather small station has two entrance halls. One dedicated to facial recognition tickets, which as a foreigner I can't use. But not to worry, as a short decorated walkway leads to the regular entrance for those with normal e-tickets. Let's head inside and have a look around. The first thing here is a large collection of ticket machines. You still need to collect a paper boarding pass, but there's no check-in needed. This part of the station has a few options for food, such as the ubiquitous CFC fast food and Indomaret stores. Though a much better selection can be found in the facial recognition entrance hall, so you can still grab food there before moving back to the e-ticket gate for boarding. Choices here include Western options, but some more local food is also available. With my boarding pass in hand, it's time to head through to the departure area. To get through, you just present your boarding pass and identity document. It all feels a bit like an airport annoyingly, but it doesn't take long to get in. As I am travelling in executive luxury class, I'm able to get into the lounge here. This is located on the mezzanine level, just after the ticket inspection. The staff warmly welcome you, and after they check your ticket, you're straight in. This space was pretty small, but offered comfy seats that you can wait for your train in. Like any lounge, there was an offering of complimentary food and drinks. A few cold beverages were available here, as well as a hot drinks machine. Though the food options were very limited, consisting solely of an item vaguely named traditional snack. If you know what's on offer here, let me know in the comments. Whilst I don't recommend arriving extra early just to visit this lounge, it was a nice touch and definitely better than sitting around in a crowded concourse. My train today will be number 10, the 0850 Argo Dupanga towards Solo Balapan, which I'll be catching as far as Yogyakarta. Departure is from platform 3, so let's head up and await its arrival. Gambir has just 4 platforms that handle most long-distance traffic from the city of Jakarta. It's quite a bottleneck and leads to a very strange situation with the local commuter trains. And that is, despite running through the station, they don't stop. Due to the frequency of service, if these trains stopped too, the station couldn't handle it. Though it's not unusual to see one waiting in the platforms due to a red signal. Eventually, my train comes in from the sidings. It's hauled by a CC206 diesel locomotive, the type most commonly used on Indonesia's prestigious trains such as this one. Like all trains in the country, it is operated by Kereta Api Indonesia, the national operator of the country. Kereta Api actually translates as fire cart, of course referring to steam engines, but the name has stuck. These stainless steel carriages were built in 2019, part of an order for 438 carriages manufactured locally by INKA. Indonesian trains do carriage numbering a bit differently, with the class coming first, and then its own order coming after. I'm travelling in executive luxury, so my carriage is LUX-1. Seating is in a 2+1 layout, and takes the form of these spacious recliners. We'll take a closer look at them later on. My seat today will be 9C, a forward-facing window seat. Today's route will see us crossing a large part of the island of Java, heading along the north coast before cutting across to the south coast and making just a few stops along the way. Journey time is scheduled to be 6 hours and 8 minutes, covering 512 kilometres or about 318 miles. Departure from Gambir is on time at 08:50. As we leave, a number of station staff bow their heads and cross their chest as a way of wishing you a good journey. And just seconds after we leave, the staff come around with a refreshing glass of chilled fruit juice. Our ride out of Jakarta is impressive, with lots of modern skyscrapers visible. We even pass through a few stations on the commuter railway, such as Gongdangdia. Manggarai station is under heavy reconstruction, and whilst we speed through it now, this station will be the new terminus for long-distance trains in Jakarta by 2025. We make another stop in the city of Jakarta at Jatinegara, which sees a few long-distance trains call. Anyway, time to take a look around the interior. These seats look absolutely fantastic, and they live up to that appearance too. Though if you looked up close, they were a little bit worn out. They had so much padding, it was really comfortable. Good ergonomic support was provided by the well-shaped backrest, and up top, a very soft head cushion. Legroom provided was absolutely incredible, and I couldn't even reach the seat in front if I tried. Between seats are large fixed armrests, and they're padded too. On the other side, you'll find a drink holder. And under this armrest, there's a folding table. This was small, but good enough for a meal and drink, which is coming later. Each seat gets a personal light, and this thing was incredibly bright. Just look at how much it lights up the carriage wall. Now on to what is possibly the seat's best feature. Using this control panel, you can recline the seat very far, and the other button causes this to raise too. Lastly, this little bit here also folds out, making a nice long surface to rest your legs. As you can see, it's a huge difference when fully reclined compared to the upright position. I could probably sleep here. Though my feet did reach the seat in front, which was annoying. Speaking of the seat in front, it featured a small pocket for storing items, but this wasn't properly attached. Now there are a few more things that I want to tell you about the seat, but I was told that the meal service was about to begin, so I decided to wait. Jakarta's metropolitan area is massive, and so it takes a long time for us to get out of it. We run alongside the Jakarta commuter railway for much of this trip out of the city. This is Kereta Baru, just one of 26 stops on the Cikarang loop line. Time for the onboard meal service. This is served at your seat and delivered by the crew. My meal consisted of a bread roll, some sort of coffee-flavoured mousse, and in the box was a soggy omelette sandwich using crustless bread for some reason, as well as 2 sad-looking sausages. A bottle of water was provided to wash it all down, which you'd probably need as it wasn't very nice. I usually love eating on trains, it's just a really fun experience. But this 10 o'clock late breakfast was pretty poor, and to be honest I'd rather they didn't bother. Meanwhile outside, we're currently passing Cikampek. When passing here, keep a lookout for the abandoned locomotives beside the tracks. This station is also a junction, with the line to Bandung branching off and heading south here, resulting in a very busy level crossing. At last, we're out into the countryside, and passing through many fields of rice. Rice is a staple food in Indonesia, and a key part of the economy, with the country being the 3rd largest producer of rice globally. This is Kaliwedi Station, or should I say was. The station was abandoned in 2002, and the isolated remains are considered to be haunted by the ghosts of people involved in collisions on the nearby crossing. This is also where we catch an amazing look at Mount Ciremai. Let me just adjust the footage. Mount Ciremai is a volcano and is the highest point in West Java, coming in at over 3,000 meters. It certainly dominates the horizon. And now we make our next station stop. This is Cirebon, a coastal city with around 340,000 residents. I took this brief stop as an opportunity to get some fresh air. Can't say I was expecting to see railway staff climbing all over the roof of our train though. If you know why they do this here, please leave a comment. Anyway, let's get back to looking at the onboard features. All seats in Executive Luxury class have entertainment screens, which was a pretty nice feature. On these, you can find a selection of movies, though many of the options here were actually just short promotional videos created by the railway company themselves. There were also a few documents about random topics, not sure why. Unfortunately, the moving map feature wasn't working, and neither was the live TV option. But I'm pleased to say that it did have a selection of 6 games, which seemed to work fine. I'm not sure how comfortable it would be to play a game like this for a long time though. It was really quite a stretch. If you want to use your own entertainment, then you'll find 2 European-style power sockets on the wall. Though again, this would be quite a stretch for the person in the aisle seat, so I'd suggest using the USB sockets mounted on the armrest. At windows, there's a sun blind provided. And on the pillars, you'll find a coat hook for each passenger. After Cirebon, the scenery rapidly begins to pick up, as we head south into the mountains. By the way, this train is also fitted with free Wi-Fi, which was easy to connect to. Connection speeds were more than good enough, especially as we're on a train. Well, time for a look around the rest of the train. All other passenger carriages on the train are executive class, which is pretty much first class. No second class option is available on this train, as is the case with many long distance express trains in Indonesia. Despite being a first class product, Executive is in a 2+2 seating layout, and in my experience it felt cramped thanks to the very small seats. This is partially thanks to Indonesia's narrow gauge, with tracks being just 1067mm apart, which is known as Cape gauge. This gauge was selected as it helped keep costs low during construction. This was necessary as much of Indonesia is mountainous, so using the much wider standard gauge would have been very costly. It does result in the ride being pretty rough though, so be sure to hold on when making your way around the train. 5 carriages along, we find the restaurant car. This contains a dedicated dining area, with seats around proper fixed tables. And it seems to be popular too. A large selection of traditional Indonesian cuisine is on offer, though I hope it's better than what was served to me for breakfast. Some refrigerated drinks were also available. Back to the Executive Luxury carriage, it's time to take a look at the toilets. 2 locks for some reason, so it's extra secure. This was in a good condition and kept clean throughout the entire journey. Soap was provided, and the water was working fine. You also have the choice of a handheld bidet and regular toilet paper. Our final intermediate stop is in Purwokerto, another major city. From here, we run non-stop to Yogyakarta, allowing us to sit back, relax, and enjoy the passing scenery. This part of the route is really beautiful, with lots of bridges and even a few tunnels. My absolute highlight has to be this section crossing over the Sirayu River. Just stunning. Now let's talk about how much this journey costs. I booked 45 days in advance when bookings open, and my ticket cost 1,135,000 Indonesian rupiah. Whilst the comfort and spaciousness is very good, this seems extremely high, especially as Indonesia is generally a cheap country to travel in. Oh, and one last thing, for most of the journey a member of staff was sat here playing on his phone. It seems strange that there isn't a better place for staff to go and rest, but the guy was lovely. Every time there was something interesting to film, he would point it out for me. And by the way, if you are wondering what the Argo Dwipanga name of this train means, it's actually a bit of a funny one. Argo means mountain in old Javanese, while Dwipanga is the name of an elephant in local legends. The service's name is therefore meaningless, but fits in with naming traditions of the other most prestigious trains in Indonesia, which are named after mountains. To complete the onboard service, all passengers were given a refreshing hot towel. Safe to say, this was very much appreciated. As we arrive into Yogyakarta, note the overhead rails. These are used instead of regular overhead wires at this station, though I don't know the reason for this. Arrival is on time at 14:58. In conclusion, I really enjoyed this ride with Kereta Api Indonesia. Whilst some of the design choices are quite strange and the meal service was pretty poor, the overall product is actually fantastic. It's definitely expensive, but for that you get a level of comfort that rivals a business class flight. As always, let me know what you thought of this executive luxury ride in Indonesia, and for a look at an even more exclusive business class train in Georgia, then click up here now.